It's Law and You, the program that brings legal issues to the people and the people to the law. Today, we shine the spotlight on accountability in governance, a cornerstone of democracy that ensures those entrusted with power do not abuse it or abandon their duties. But what happens when public officials fail to perform? Are citizens helpless observers, or does the law empower them to demand change and seek redress? From petitions and, of course, public interest litigations to recall processes and legal sanctions, this edition explores the legal remedies available to citizens when elected or appointed officials fail in their duties. We will be speaking with legal minds and, of course, rights advocates on what the Constitution says and what the court can do and what you, as a citizen, must know. And don't forget, you stay with us on Law and You as it unfolds the power of the law in the hands of the people. My name is Philip Omowo-Gyukpo. We'll be looking at accountability in governance and, of course, legal remedies, that the citizens can explore. We will also have the opportunity to have the presence of a custodian of the law in the person of Emmanuel Obakpolo. Big thanks for always having time to be part of the show.
Good afternoon, Philip. Good afternoon, Nigerians.
All right, let's quickly set the ball rolling. A lot that needs to be done as regards getting it right. We have a system that needs to, work effectively. But first of all, what is accountability in governance? And how does it apply to the citizens demanding this? What importance does it have for citizens to demand this from the government of the day?
Yeah, accountability, as pronounced, is to give records. So accountability in governance is the presentation of records on government's administration to the people and how those records have been properly handled by those in government. That is just accountability. So accountability is to ensure that the people understand and have knowledge on how governance is being carried out on their behalf by those in government.
Okay, but what is the importance? Why should they do that?
Yeah. If you look at governments, from the definition of democracy, it's a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That's what democracy is. And now government is a machinery of governance. So those who are in government, they are managing the wealth of the nation on behalf of the people. And as such, they must give account of how those resources that are made available by the people on the people, so that the people will now understand and have knowledge properly on how governance is carried out. And this government, the governance must be on the benefit of the people. That is all. That is the singular reason why there must be accountability in governance. You don't go into administrative spree or financial spree on how to just spend public funds without being accountable to it.
Okay, do you see a disconnect in between, as in the aspect of the government functionaries, embarking on the accountability project to make sure that they give account to the people and render their still worship, and again the aspect of the people, those who are being governed, demanding this? Do you see a disconnect?
Yes, I see a disconnect, because if you look at the provisions of the Constitution, the extant Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which upholds and observe and also demand practice of the separation of power, which is spelled out of and enshrined in section 4, 5, and 6, is all about accountability. And also, if you look at section 85, subsection 1 of the extant Constitution, we provide for the office of the Auditor General of the Federation. The essence for the office of the Auditor General of the Federation is to provide for accountability, because he is the one who will audit government accounts, he audit government expenditure, and now know how money or monies that belong public fund has been used, administered, or utilized for the benefit of the people. So there is now a disconnection. Why do I say so? Because even the legislative arm, who ought to carry out oversight function in ensuring that the executive, which is vested with the power to perform executive function and also the runnings of government on behalf of the people are doing that as spelled out by the law. Unfortunately, we have a legislature, particularly in this Fourth Republic, that is so lackadaisical and a rubber stamp. So wherein instead of them to carry out their function, they are busy carrying out the lullaby of on your mandate we shall stand. That is not the reason why they are elected. That is not why a legislative function. The legislative function is to ensure that accounts and accountability as rendered by the executive are done on behalf of the people, even to them, properly, so that the people can now be beneficiaries of government expenditures and the runnings of government.
Okay, when you say the legislative arm seems to be failing in that, let's draw a dichotomy, because I understand separations of power, by Montesquieu has brought a situation where the legislative arm, make laws, and of course, while the executive implement these laws, and then the judiciary, interpret and settle disputes, between all of this. Are you saying generally that the legislative arm under the system we operate in Nigeria is faulty to a point where any elected official seems to be tilting towards executive?
Yes, and I did say that with specific reference to the current legislative arm of government we have.
Did you say that, or do you say that as regards the officials or the system of practice?
It's not the system, because the Constitution does spell out how...
It's a constitutional provision.
And I also told you about Section 85, subsection 1 of the extant Constitution, which also provide for the office of the Auditor General.
So it is not a problem of the law?
It's not a problem of the law. The law is there. Is the performance of the law now. And the legislative arm also have what we call oversight function to question how public funds are being used. But here we are. We have a legislative arm of government with specific reference to the National Assembly, who approve all manner of laws. And the same National Assembly does not take time to ask questions on how those laws are used for, the performance, how the executive arm of government, how they be able to administer those laws, and how it has been of benefit to the people of Nigeria. There's no question with reference to that. And that is why you see that it appears that there is no accountability to the people of Nigeria. And that is one of the weak point, pitfalls of this administration that we have just now.
Okay. But what do you see as a causative factor? Because everything seems to be placed on a vote. The ayes have it, or the nay.
With specific reference to public funds, it is more than the question of the aye or the nay have it. It is more than that. And that is why, I repeat, I did say that the legislative arm has a duty of oversight function, because the people cannot gather like a Portuguese assembly to begin to ask questions on what their monies are used for. It is their representative, both the Senate and the House of Representatives now, at the federal level, and the state houses of assembly at the state level, and the legislative arm of government at the local government level, who carry out this functionality on behalf of the people. And here we are. Their performance is
abysmal.
It's a near zero. Abysmal. That is the right word to use. And that is why you see today that even government after government, there is no form of accountability. And there is no how the people could ask questions. However, the Freedom of Information Act has provided another leeway for individuals or group of individuals to ask questions.
Thank you very much. Well, in case you're just coming across this program, it's Law and You, and we are all about accountability in governance and seeing what legal remedies are available for the citizens to, find a way to put a task on the public officials demanding accountability, of course, stewardship on the public office. And I've been speaking with Emmanuel Ogbakpolo. Well, Emmanuel Ogbakpolo raised some very, very vital issue as regards, finding a lasting solution to this. It was on my mind. You made mention of the fact that the people are giving their powers to the Legislative Assembly, their representatives, for instance. And then you also did not fail to say that even when or if these representatives fail to carry out the functions stricto sensu as they demand or request, then they also have another avenue to, explore, which is the Freedom of Information Act. Now, how can they do that? Can you deploy how this mechanism works?
Yeah. Section 3 of the Freedom of Information Act does make provision for an applicant, is a citizen now, can make application to any government institution to ask questions or to get information from that institution with respect to the day-to-day runnings of government, even where it is strictly financial.
Exactly.
Now, but that act also provides for exemptions. The act provides for exemptions where a citizen may not have the right, or an applicant, stricto sensu, may not have the right to ask for information. And note, what are those? What is this exemptions? Exemptions are provided for in section 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 19 of the Freedom of Information Act. Section 12 specifically provides for defense, that you cannot come and make inquiry or get information with respect to defense. And I think that is commonsensical. That is understood. But where it has to do with accountability on how government is being run, with special reference or specific reference to public fund, that information must be made available to that citizen. And where the act again goes further to say where that is refused, that applicant or that citizen has a remedy. Well, section 25, he cannot make an application to court for court to grant order to get that information.
We'll get there, gradually we'll get there. But let's explore what you just said, You have a way of troubling my mind. And of course, I don't know if you're also doing same ripples to the minds of the viewers. A situation where we look at it where an electoral act is specifically, establishes the provisions as regards any concept or how a thing should be done, in terms of accountability. And then there's still another way in which such a person or citizen cannot, explore, in details or directly or, totally from that same, function. It seems to my mind that it's an attempt to kill an initiative ahead of the purpose. I don't know how you explain that.
Well, the law has a golden eye, and the law sees the past, the present, and the future. That is the position of the law. And I think that is the singular reason why the law makes provision for exemptions. But
when you say the law, men work on the laws.
Yes.
Before it becomes a law or before they become laws, they were once bills. And so men work on it. So what is the guarantee that the men that work on this do not deliberately work on this in order to, protect their patrimony, their personal aggrandizement that may, they may want to seek from the common good that law or that bill, is seeking for in the law? I don't know if you get me.
Yes, you may not. That may not be. That cannot be removed from that fact.
Because we've had this with the Electoral Act.
It could be to protect.
Where the Electoral Act, some part, anyways, I'm not to speak on it. Seems to protect those who are even the political actors.
Yes, when you make reference to electoral acts, you discover that in electoral matters, they are so unique and special to the extent that even the interpretation of the laws in marrying the functionality of the electoral officers and their performance in an election gives a wide protection. What do I mean by that? There are the courts in even interpreting the law with respect to electoral acts may not consider the actors of their functionalities, of their performance, but may consider what is known as public interest or public safety. That again, to some of us, we may question that what do we mean by public safety, where there is an infringement on the rights of the voter or the electorate. Where the right of the voter or the electorate is infringed upon, is violated, do you now say that whatever interpretation you give is for public safety? That is another question begging for answer. That even the courts have not been able to give answer to. But however, we've witnessed a lot of abracadabra, legal abracadabra, but with special reference or specific reference, to my mind, to the last 2023 general elections. We've seen it. Before now, we've seen that the court visit the law strictly on electoral matters. But just now, we've seen how there is protection with respect to that. But again, let's look at the subject matter. I did say that the Freedom of Information Act provides for exemptions. And those exemptions are specified in sections 11 to section 19, with the removal of section 18 of the Freedom of Information Act. And that you can go to court as a remedy, section 25. Now, you can see that even that law, the Freedom of Information Act rather, also has given the court responsibility to make order with reference to information as applied by an applicant or a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So, it's still within the wisdom of the court to so grant or to refuse. Again, we may have the challenge of interpretation in the nearest future.
Thank you very much. But you just raised an issue that needs to be explained in total, because there's this aspect of, getting allocations that the federal government has given to each state, for instance, in their monthly revenues, of course, monthly allocations from the federal government to the states. We've always seen it where it is not properly broken down. We can hardly, have, reports on the monthly, allocations that each state gets from the federal government. All we can get from the Federal Accounts Allocation Committee most times are usually the total amount, that is being disbursed from the federal government to the states, but not the specific amount that each state gets month in, month out from the federal government. And that what you have to get it from the Accountant General of the state to have a well-explained copy or copies of how the state gets month in, month out allocations from the federal government. Should it be so?
Yes, it ought not to be so, because we have seen that with specific reference to the way the executive carry out the day-to-day runnings of administration in this country, it has shown that there is no transparency. In a climate where there is transparency, there ought to be a breakdown. Even the Constitution makes it clear for there to be a breakdown of how public funds are distributed or shared amongst the federal government and the 36 states of the federation. But here we are, some executive maneuverings are being carried out so that the people of Nigeria will not know that. And now, if the people of Nigeria do not have access to that information, what about their representative at the legislative angle of it? Or
do they have access?
Government? Do they have access? If they don't, do they ask questions with respect to that, or they are engaged in frivolities? So that is why the freedom, I think, that the Freedom of Information Act now makes provision.
That's the importance.
Individuals, citizens, group of citizens, to now make application.
Yeah, because it's
get that information.
Yeah, because it's not every information that will be on the public space.
Yes.
So, but that Freedom of Information Act can also help.
Yes.
If you seek or require such information that may not readily be on the public space, so that you can easily access such,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, but how fluid or how, accessible is the office of the Attorney General, for instance?
It's accessible. It's a public office. You can make your application.
Okay.
And the Freedom of Information Act also saw the possibility of the institution wherein that application is made to refuses to grant that application or request as made. And the Act now provides for, in Section 25, that you can go to court to seek a redress so that the court can grant an order. And once the court grants an order, you bring that order to them so that they can furnish you with whatever information as specified in your application.
All right, this quite a sensitive topic, and we will not be able to exhaust it in one episode. But in the next episode, we're going to be looking more into, the sanctions, or how the citizens can be able to, access, remedies, these legal remedies, in tackling or finding way where the provisions of the law can, make sanctions on non-performing public officials that are found wanting in terms of not being able to, satisfy the public or the citizens in respect of giving account of their still worship. And that will be done basically, next week. But before we round off on this, let's look at the aspect of the legislative arm, for instance, that you raised. This is an important arm of government that helps to oversee, deploy, that helps to, look into oversight functions, of the executive. Now, how can we strengthen this body in order to be able to, help in accountability of the executive?
The law is clear with reference to legislative oversight, and that the legislature, their function as provided for by the Constitution is not just to make laws. Like we have agreed, they also have oversight functions to perform.
Yes.
And when they refuse,
but they are lagging in that aspect. Like what you said, they are lagging in that aspect.
Yes.
So how do we strengthen that arm? But first of all, what could be the causative factor, and how can we strengthen that arm for it to be found, living up to expectation?
With the kind of legislative representative we have, and the unique structure of Nigeria, democratically, legally, and otherwise, we may have just one function or one role to play, and that is where you discover now to the citizens, where the citizens of Nigeria discover that the members of the legislative arm of government are not carrying out their functions as legislative arm. In the next election, don't vote for them.
Okay, you are talking about, okay, before that, we could also, explore the aspect of the recall process. And of course, sanctions that may also be given on that. But well, that would be what we will be having same time next week on Law and You. Well, a big thanks for taking our time to be part of this. Basically, that's what we're going to be looking at in the next episode, because we want to look at the recall process. How is it done? And of course, sanctions that will be given on non-performing public officials. How would that be carried out? So big thanks for taking our time to be part of this.
It's a pleasure to me.
My name is Philip Omol Gupo. We'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year from Independent Television and Radio.
ITV, certainly the best.
Top of the evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. It's another lovely episode of your favorite men's rendezvous on television, which is the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television, reaching you live from the city of Bronx. Yes, of course, I love to call it the city where the king is truly king. Now, for starters, the Guys Hangout Show is a show that, teaches men to prioritize themselves and to put themselves first, and of course to invest in themselves, because it's no news that society looks up to men a lot. A whole lot is expected of men in the society, from protection to provision and what have you. Now, if you don't have to give, you really can't give. Just like they say, you can't give what you don't have. So it's very important that men learn to prioritize themselves and invest in themselves. For that is the only way they can actually have to give to others. My name is Harry Aigboje, and of course it's my pleasure to have you join us on this beautiful episode of the show. Now, to take a look at tonight's discourse with me are two beautiful, two amazing, two viral young men right here with me, and together we're going to be doing justice to the topic. Now, to my far left, of course I always love to start with my far left, is someone who is a colleague and also a public affairs analyst. He goes by the name of Michael. It's good to have you, Michael.
It's great to be here again. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Michael. How's your day been?
It's been great. Wonderful. You look great.
Thank you, and you too.
Thank you.
All right, seated next to Michael, seated in between us, is a public affairs analyst as well. He's a member of the family. He's a brother, a colleague, and someone who is very passionate about things that have to do with men and masculinity. He goes by the name of Ramsey Uwaila Abu. Good to have you, Ramsey.
Thank you, Harry. It's always a pleasure to be on the show. The show has given us a platform to help correct some of these things in society that needed to be corrected.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a pleasure being here to talk about some of these things that affect us, because what better platform is there than this, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we have a very important topic before us, right? A very interesting one. It's something that has to do with young men and their finances. Okay? So first of all, like I said in opening, a lot is expected of men. So one of those responsibilities that society has placed on the shoulder of men is the need, for them to meet their financial obligations. And what are those financial obligations? Taking care of everyone around them, right? Of course, a man gets to a certain age and then society already expects him to, lift his family out of poverty, so to speak. If he has a mother or a father, he's expected to take care of, them. And then if he has a woman in his life, let's say he's not even married yet, it's just a girlfriend that he has. Yeah. By default, society expects him, to live up to certain financial obligations, like, giving her money for upkeep. And then, of course, there's this maintenance money, right? Okay. Hence, you hear some women telling some men that say, can you maintain me? Can you take care of me? Now, we're looking at how relationships, dating, affect the financial potentials of young men of this generation. Now, why is it that when a man doesn't have money, let's start from there, society doesn't seem to, take him seriously?
Thank you very much for that. Well, it's quite unfortunate that we're in a system, a society whereby the poor doesn't have no words of their own. They don't have a say. You can't talk. In this society today now, we have many persons that are pressurized, all right? Now, if you don't have money, you can't belong. Understand? You can't belong. You know what I mean? Let me be elliptical.
Okay.
You can't belong, you get. So it's so unfortunate right now that, okay, you see, some persons are not so much traumatized to the extent that because they want to belong, they're not doing some illicit, putting their hands in some illicit activities. You understand? So I really don't know, but it's just where we find ourselves. You get. So if we can change that kind of parochial mentality, I can't, because of, see, some persons find themselves in a particular situation which is not their fault. You get. You just have to live with it and do your level best to come outside from that situation. Yeah. It doesn't mean that you're going to stay there forever. You get. See, some of these youths today, they don't have to be pressurized negatively. Because you want your voices to be heard, you're going to start, putting your hands in one or two dirty, prescribed on things or the other. You understand? So it's just quite unfortunate that until you have it, before you can, be there among the, the chosen ones, in quotes.
Now, thank you very much, Michael. Ramsey, there seems to be this growing trend, especially in the media space, right?
Okay.
Of men saying that relationship has become like a poverty alleviation scheme, right? So a lot of guys are now shying away from relationships. Some will just tell you, see, I'm no longer interested in relationships. Some, have made up their minds to abstain from anything that has to do with relationship because of the attendant effects, because of the features of such relationships. You are in a relationship, for instance, and certain things are expected of you. Even if your girlfriend isn't asking you for anything, even if she's not directing, in her demands, all it takes is just for her to complain about certain things. Some people call it indirect mode of asking. She tells you, oh, my rent is due.
Yeah.
Right? I need to make my hair. I haven't made my hair for the past 2 weeks.
She didn't ask you, but she's asking you.
She didn't ask, but she just, do you understand? And then, as a man, I had a friend that once said that, say, imagine your girlfriend complaining to you and you can't do anything as a man. That makes you less of a man. And this is the sad reality of a lot of men of this generation. How did we get here?
Yes, there are still some girls out there who knows what they are doing. I think I will fault those guys who went for what I call outer beauty, what I call a coconut carrying a human hair, what I call an empty brain, wearing makeups and all that, who sees you are going for that girl who sees you as a poverty alleviation scheme. If she can afford these things in her father's house, why is she disturbing you with these things? The problem, I know many girls out there will say, okay, if you can as well get whatever it is you are doing with her, having sex with her and all that, why did you decide to go for her? But the truth is, it is not a market thing. I didn't buy it. I am not paying for it. It's not transactional. Thank you very much. It's not transactional. Now, for a man, if you are a man, you should be able to take a stance and say, I will only go for that lady who is career-oriented, who is focused, who wants to do something in life besides depending on a man. Such lady will not give you problems in relationship. But when you decide to go for that one, who's looking for someone that will remove her family from poverty, you always have problem. Mind you, even if you have all the money on planet Earth, if you spend today, you spend tomorrow, you spend the day after, human wants are always insatiable. The day you don't have, should go for the higher bidder. Then the next person will continue. There is always this dependence on money. If money is no longer there to oil the engine of the relationship, they should go for another person that has the money so that the engine of the relationship will continue to be oiled and all that. Okay. So the thing is, as a man, you shouldn't start with such relationship. The way girls say, I cannot date a broke guy. I don't know why guys are dating broke girls. What is the first sign of a broke girl?
That's a serious one because it's been generating lots of controversies on social media because that's where we are right now. Some guys are saying, if ladies are saying they can't date broke guys, then I think it's time to start paying them in their own coin. So we're not dating broke girls. So the question is, where will that take us as a people? Because what that actually has turned relationships to is, a trade by barter thing.
Yeah.
Right? So, in those days, we heard of most of our parents, our grandparents, fell in love. There was true love. They fell in love without much financial consideration. That was not to say that they didn't care for each other or that they did not, feel the need to want to buy things and give gifts to each other. But nowadays, these relationships are hinged on these things.
Yeah.
So if you take these things away from relationships,
there will be no relationship.
There will be no relationship. So my question is, what does the future hold for young people?
If we continue like this,
there
will be no marriage. The only thing we'll have will be wedding ceremonies. And these days, many girls are even hyping or putting all their hope on how their wedding is going to look like, instead of thinking of how their marriage should look like. And that's because they have tied the whole of their life to the financial status of a man. Sir, if all men can decide to say we are not dating a broke girl, it will bring us to normalcy. It will bring us to what we call real marriage. Okay. No, when the Reverend Father says, for richer or for poorer. Some people will say for richer, for richer. He knows that there will be time where there will be what? The worst. It's not going to be good all the time. So this time when things are not working out well for your man, will you still be able to stay? Who is that man that is so rich that at time there will be no hiccups in his life or financial and status and all that? Definitely there will be time when this man needs money. Will you still be there as his wife? So when you start a relationship with money, I can take care of you, can you afford me? Yes, I can afford you, as if they are products. We only afford things that we buy, we use and done.
Commodities.
How can you say, as a human being, you are asking a man if he can afford you?
Like you're some sort of commodity or
Then
something.
you sold your rights, you sold everything, he can afford you, then he owns everything about you. And later you come outside to say you are a feminist. Women should be given equal rights. When you have been bought by a man, you ask if he can afford you. So the problem now is, guys out there, look for a woman who is a real woman. A woman who knows that she is in life, not because she just wants to depend on a particular man, but to make money herself and go into marriage. For such women, you enjoy marriage. But if you pick that one who is looking for someone that will take her out of poverty, you will keep spending and spending. At the end, you will still lose her because she is fit for the streets and not for the home.
Not for the home. Okay. Now, we pray that we do not end up with one of those that are suited for the streets. Now, Michael, Ramsey just said something about some men's poor choices. He said that a lot of guys that end up with such women, it's because they actually went for such women. But the question on my mind when he was saying that was, how many good women? Because he said that there are women that do not share that mindset. But the question is, do we have enough of such women to go around nowadays? Do you think so? Do you think we have enough of such women to go around?
Yeah, of course. First of all, I think many persons, many of these females, they're living bogus life. You want sports hits at the outset of the relationship.
Exactly.
When they enter it, they lose their wrapper, they lose their exteriors, because you begin to see the real color.
The real them.
Because at the outset of the relationship, because you are a safe space for them, they will just show you their good side. But when they are in, they begin to show you the terrible part of it, and you start wondering, like, I don't understand, is this the person that I was with? You know, like from your question, you said, are there
good women, enough
that?
good women to go around?
Yes, actually there are good women to go around.
So you think men are looking in the wrong places?
No, the thing is that actually there are many women like that can go around. But you see, most guys today, they go for what they see. They're looking for voluptuous women.
Oh, wow.
Like when I take this girl out, people be like, wow, you really select.
Wow.
They're not looking for the interior. Just check out for the lady's eccentricity, how she behaves. Is this a lady or a wife material?
So you're saying, in essence, that some guys are more interested in the outward appearance.
Of course.
You know, like you just said, some of them have this mentality that, I have to pick a girl that will suit my personality.
Good.
The type that, when I step out with her, everybody will be like, wow, this guy chose well.
That is, because of this parochial mindset, they're looking for who they can showcase, who they can flaunt outside, like this is somebody that I chose after. You get, so that kind of thing. Now that woman, she knows this is why you actually chose her.
Okay.
You get, but she wants you to keep feeding her like that. She makes that threatening you, like, if you don't, I have other persons that I can go and be with. You understand? So because of the parochial mentality at the outset, you get, so there are actually many of these women to go around if the boys choose relax, to look the right way, to look the right direction. There are actually very, very many to go around. Understand?
Now, Ramsey, I think, because a lot of times we accuse women of being too materialistic, right? So what you guys have said now is actually, it actually puts men in the same category. Because, if women are looking for superficial things in men, men are also looking for superficial things in women.
In women. Like, the question could also be, are there good men to go around?
Okay.
We only have few. The kind of men we have these days are men who like flashy things. Who, like he rightly said, who love
voluptuous
women. Women who they will present and their guys will like, you tried, you are a man and all that. But without thinking about the character, the content of this woman. But then there are beautiful girls out there who also have good character.
If boys actually calm down, look, see, for everything there's a reason, right? So at the outset of everything, look out for is this the kind of, like you rightly said, is this the kind of person that will give me peace of mind. See, heaven is a place of splendor, but there was war. So in marriage, no matter how rich you are, there will still be, some sort of problems, you understand? So this particular girl I'm investing on, will she become a liability on assets? That should be the rhetorical question you ask yourself.
Should become a liability on assets. That's a $1 million question right there, because I think this is a question that a lot of young men don't ask themselves. Okay, they are easily carried away by the superficial things, the glamour, the glitz and glamour. She's a fine girl, she speaks well and all of that. Ramsey asked the question earlier: how long will this sustain the relationship? What happens when the wrinkles begin to set in? What happens when she's no longer that beautiful girl that you met the first time? What happens when all of these things begin to change? Will she continue to be that, person that you met that first time? Now, Ramsey, what do you have to say about what the question I asked him?
Now,
the fact that a lot of guys really can't give a reasonable account of their expenditure annually as per relationship.
And their expenditure is on the relationship. That's where their money goes. See, the truth is, when I see guys trying to make a woman comfortable by spending all his money on the woman, using the word I am maintaining my woman and all that, I begin to marvel, like, do we still have some foolish people in this society? A woman that was giving high latch, she said it's not enough by God. She added to it.
Okay.
A woman that removed the eyebrow, she will remove it with razor and draw another one. A woman that as well decided to increase her bum bum. A woman that as well decided to increase every part of her body just to. A woman that is not satisfied. God was not able to satisfy a woman.
And you think you can.
And you think you can. The man will die. And the woman will continue to live. Other men will continue to maintain her. The truth is, do what you can do. It is not even your responsibility to maintain a woman you've not taken as your wife, you've not married. You are not a poverty alleviation scheme. If she needs all these things, her father should be able to provide it for her. If her father cannot provide, her other brother cannot provide, her family cannot provide, she can't even provide it for herself. Then who said? Where is it written in our constitution that a boyfriend must always provide all the needs of a girl? A girl that loves you will never stress you. She will not ask you what she knows that you cannot afford. If she's asking you what she knows you cannot afford, she's trying to say you can't take care of me and I'm moving. Maybe she's saying it indirectly. Because she knows you cannot provide this 1 million, for example. And she's asking you for $1 million. She knows you can't provide it. Indirectly, she just needs a reason to go. Then you let her go. And focus on someone that will grow with you, that will help you build your home, and all that. Now, you see, it is not also their fault. There are some guys out there who have so concentrate and value this idea of physique of a woman. She must have this, she must have that. And that's what leads some girls to go for this, is it BBL, BBL, this and that, enhancement, because that's what get. But the truth is, those guys just want to use you as show off. The love is not there. When it's time for that guy to settle down, he will go to that other girl out there, who they see as Mary Amaka or Christians and all that. That's the girl he wants to make the mother of his unborn kids. Then the other one is for show off, for showmanship and all that. So they should know that a man that really loves you will not want you to go under the knife just because he wants you to add more flesh to what God has given you. It is from the heart that you actually see the beauty of a woman. Who said there are no beautiful girls out there that are well-mannered also? That doesn't mean girls that are well-mannered are not beautiful. They are beautiful. There are beautiful girls out there. They are well-mannered. They are focused. They know what they want. You go for such. Okay. So the fault is from some of those guys who make it look like this is what all men want in a woman. That is not what all men want. Men want a woman that will be the mother of their kids. You've drunk with a man, you smoke and shisha like a dragon with him, you've done different things with him. Once it's time for marriage, the man will remind you of your past life and say, I can't marry this woman. I am going for this. And you say, all men are scum and all men are the same and all that. You've forgotten when he was paying you for it. When you were collecting thousands, when you were collecting millions from him, when he was taking you all around the world, you were sitting in front of the car and all that. He paid for it and he got whatever he wants. He's done with you. Now he wants to settle down. You are crying. So guys out there, I think they should see beyond just outer beauty and start working on themselves.
Thank you so much, Ramsey. Michael, he said something that struck me, that, you know, a woman who actually has your interest at heart and who is with you for the long haul will not expect you to spend, you know, extravagantly on her. What that tells me is that, you know, a woman who expects you to spend so much already has an exit plan.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't even see a future with you. Because if she does see a future with you, she would advise you and encourage you to invest, knowing that, you know, whatever comes out of that investment, she's going to be a part of it in the long run. Do you share that thought?
Yeah, of course, yeah, definitely. Now, somebody that really loves you will not stress you, all right? So most of these girls, they know what they're doing. Like, what he said just now, he said, I think, talked about a girl looking for a reason, a purpose to leave
a relationship.
All right. See, most of these guys that are close to their partners, they know the capacity, they know the extent,
Limits.
the limits, the pockets.
Okay.
You get. So a girl that actually, you know, have your heart, she will not want you to spend redundantly. So most of these girls today, anyway, let me not say most of them, a few of these girls, like very, very few.
Some of them, okay.
Yeah, some of them. What they do, if they actually love a boy, they point you in the right direction. They want you to, okay, why don't you try this one out since the other one did not work out?
You.
Like they push you to your goal. They may even lead you to tears. You'll be like, who is this angel?
True.
You understand? So most of these girls, there are just a few girls, I beg your pardon, just a few girls that have this kind of mentality. Most of them are carried away by these social media material things. Look at what my friend's boyfriend got for her.
Let's
just
not forget about social media influencers.
Yeah.
I just got a new hair.
Yes.
Then my friends used to see it.
Yeah, so
her boyfriend bought it for her.
you get. So as we're
Stuff like
moving
that.
together, I was the black sheep. I was the one that was left out. Look at them with their, you know, their exorbitant
So
hair.
she was under pressure
Just
to
look
belong.
at, yeah, you understand. So this kind of girl, that is, if Grandma Cooper met me, I'll say that's the reddest flag. You understand?
Okay.
So you understand. So that kind of thing, if a boy spots such error or such thing, nobody should tell you to, according to the
run.
to the
To
balance, to
run.
borrow more leg and run.
Okay.
You understand? So a girl that really, really loves you will not overstress you.
All right.
You
Now,
understand?
Ramsey, what's your advice for young men who are in one-chance relationships?
Okay.
One chance in terms of, you know that the person you're with right now doesn't really have your interest at heart, but because you're already emotionally
want to lose
attached,
her. Yeah.
you don't know what to do to opt out. What's your advice for such
Let
guys?
me remind
in
them.
less than 30 seconds.
Yes, let me remind them if they've forgotten that you can give a woman everything. Give her all the money. There'll be one bicycle repairer. It could just be a driver. It could just be the vulcanizer by the roadside who is servicing her. Let me use that word. And you are the one spending the money. Women don't even know what they want. They can fall in love with anybody just for anything. So you can be taken as your dogu.
Some women.
Yeah, some women. You can be taken as your dogu.
Okay.
Yeah, of
Why
course, yeah.
she would just love the other guy because of the way he looks. So if you think money can buy love, you will spend and spend and spend. At the end, it will still end in futility.
So in a nutshell, money can't buy love.
Can't buy love.
Definitely.
All right, Michael?
Yeah. I think, well, like I said, let me contribute to it. Get so most of these relationships that we find ourselves in, just do your level best and leave the rest. You don't have to kill yourself. You don't have to pressurize. Like you said just now, you said some women they found calmness, they found safe space in some certain persons. They can like a guy because of his sexual prowess. They can like one because of his pockets. You know, they can like one because of his.
So
you know,
there's
the
no particular
pockets.
reason why a
No
woman
particular reasons.
is that
They are
women are attracted
ones
to men. Okay.
just insatiable. You just can't please them. So just do
your
your
best.
level best. You understand, and leave the rest.
All right, guys, I want to say a big thank you for making tonight's edition a success. You guys have been really, really amazing. Well, like they say, a word is enough for the wise. You really can't go beyond your limits. Every human being has a limit, okay? And the moment you begin to try to stretch your limits, that's when you begin to wear yourself out. And then the moment you're done, she would leave you for the next person. Okay, so just like they've said, if there's anything I can take away from what they've said so far, is the fact that you can't please anyone, not just women. Okay, you can't please anyone. Human wants are insatiable. Where you stop is where somebody else is going to begin. So why not just do the best that you can? And just like Michael said, the person that loves you will not stress you. Seriously. Whoever loves you will not stress you. If that person you are dating is stressing you, just know that the person is not for you. And you'll be doing yourself a world of good to walk out of that relationship. It's been the Guys Hangout Show on Independent Television. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you out there. A big thank you to the gentlemen in the house for making today a success. My name is Harry Agbo-J, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, ensure you make every single day of your life count. Do have yourself a beautiful night rest. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, Do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Bully, we're talking
That's
about.
what I said. So
that's-
when they bullied her,
Yeah.
now, if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They can't
smart.
sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them or are dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels, and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
Hello viewers, welcome to Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji. So today on Viewpoint, let's talk about the insecurity that has been affecting Nigeria as a country and how it affects our economy, our agricultural sector, and most importantly, our means of livelihood.
Security is the most important element if you are talking about whether state development or national development. No investment can thrive when there's no guaranteed security. And I don't think any economy can grow. I don't think any country can do well if the security architecture of that country is not such that it's able to arrest things that will make investors scared to put their investments in that very environment. And then on the issue of Donald Trump, some people say it's threatening Nigeria, but I don't think it's threatening Nigeria. The issues raised that led to Donald Trump and the Secretary of War of the United States wanting to come to Nigeria, those issues, are they real? Those are the questions to ask. The killings, are they real? Is there massacre of people, whether Christians or non-Christians? I don't believe that people that are doing it, that they are Muslims, because I do know that Islam does not encourage killings. So for them to think that they are on some mission for God in quotes, and nobody has been able to stop them. We have a country where the security agencies have not been able to curb these things for so many years. 8 years of Buhari is gone. We are post 2 years now into Tinubu administration, that's 10 years. And in a country like Nigeria, you still see where they will show you on video where people are being killed and buried. The question when some people talk, the question I always ask them is it because those that are affected are not directly related to it? So I think that the American government, coming out to say that if Nigeria cannot solve it, they want to come and solve it. I think it's a wake-up call on the president, who is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, who is the chief security officer of Nigeria, to either do the needful and let every Nigerian feel protected within our country.
As of today, obviously insecurity has become a thing of concern for every Nigerian. And primarily, from our own research, I personally have realized that the insecurity is given birth to by Nigerians themselves, in line with the high rate of corruption in the system. Insecurity can only reduce when the corruption level is reduced. The primary cause of insecurity in our society is lack of consequences to crime. So if there are consequences, as we all know, the Nigerians are very good in abiding to laws when there is consequences to the crime they commit. So the Nigerians are very good in taking advantage of loopholes when there is no consequences to their crime. If you pay attention to Nigerians that are in diaspora today, you realize that 80% of them are very law-abiding over there. The primary reason for that is because in the Western world, the consequences to crime is non-negotiable. So, but coming back home today, we all have seen it, taking a negative toll on our society, and we all are, affected by it in one way or the other. Talking about foreign intervention to Nigeria, we all, I wouldn't say we all know, but for me, it is obviously clear that this was expected at a point. It's in two ways. One way is because of the applications of the current federal government, the steps they are taking to boycott American. The country we are living in right now is a one-party system. And obviously, it's not healthy for the country. We see governors, everybody moving to APC today. So Nigeria is in the state of in the state of surgery. So we need a surgery at this point, because a society that does not have a competitor is as good as doomed.
What Abai will say right now is concerning the herdsmen that come to our community here. Those are real cow. They normally come with their cow to eat people cross here in my community here. They used to come with their cow. Instead of them to move along the road so that their cow will not eat grass from the road, they will take those cows to the people's farm in community. They will be eating their cross. Some will have cassava, some will have yam. Those cows will not destroy those cross in their farm. Many occasions, those people, they will come to me, started explaining what is going on in their farm concerning the herdsmen with their cow. We don't want such a thing from the community. The way they are damaging people crossing here in community is very bad. Also, in our secondary school in Umtekon here is very bad. There is no window in those schools, no door. There are some iron shed that those children are using to sit in the school. Some boys, we don't know them, they will go there, destroy those shed, pack those iron and bend it, fold it and take it to somewhere they will go and sell those iron. It's the iron that they are taking from the shed. They will remove the wool that the children will use supposed to write in school. Then we remove those one away from the shed. Then we fold the iron, take it away to go and sell it to wherever they want to sell it. We doesn't want such a thing in community. We are still pleading, we are begging so that they can also support us. It's supposed the school is well available for us. The school is well built. Those window have been fixed, those doors have been fixed. By the time those door or window are being locked, I believe that they can never go there and be stealing those iron share in school.
First and foremost, let me start with how it affects our livelihood. You will discover that when farmers can no longer access their farms, they can no longer cultivate crops, you find out that there is food shortage and there is food insecurity. People will be hungry, and the few crops or agricultural products, the price will skyrocket, which will result in inflation. And if the prices of foodstuff increase, every other thing will increase to catch up with the prices of foodstuff. You find out that when there is insecurity, people can no longer travel. You find out that you see situations where buses are stopped and everybody is kidnapped. How will people do interstate and intercity economic matters or businesses? You find out that everyone is holed up in his own state or in his own city without being able to do cross-country businesses. And again, you find out that foreign investments run away from countries or places where there's insecurity. Where there's insecurity or fear of the unknown, money flies away. People start taking out their finances, their investment, and running away from that country. That is the problem Nigeria is facing, and it is not good for our economic development. And if need be, what stops us from asking for help? If your house is on fire and only you cannot quench the fire, will you not call in neighbors to help? I have spoken against his rhetoric before, but we should look beyond how he speaks. We all know Donald Trump, he will always be Trump. But we must look beyond that and see how we can be helped. Now, Donald Trump seems to have the list of people who are behind this mess that we are in. And so everyone is jittery. But Nigeria needs help. And if help is coming, we should accept it so that these bandits, these herdsmen can be driven away. We must not play politics with our security. If we need help, we should accept help.
Insecurity in Nigeria ranges between banditry, insurgency, kidnapping, and of course, these ethnic clashes. We cannot rule that one out. Also, the farmer herders herdsmen clashes, we can also rule it out. And the fact remains that this has been so predominant in the north and southeast of Nigeria. And I think of recent, we started experiencing kidnapping in the south. Before now, at the advent of the democratic system in this era, there was this militants in the south. But I think at the moment, what we are experiencing now, one can only say that there is other hidden agenda which is not visible to the understanding of the natural man, because we discovered that in the north, a lot of religious crisis, so to say, because we see the Christians are being killed almost on a daily basis, churches are burned, and of recent, the United States of America alerted us that there is, of course, genocide, the massacre of the Christians in Nigeria, of which we are not ignorant of that fact, because it has been always on the news. In Benue, in Plateau, of course, Nasarawa, Borno, Adamawa, where the Christian Association of Nigeria chairman of that state was also killed. I think as it stands, the effect is so devastating. For example, you are going to discover that especially in the northern region, there's going to be restriction of movements, transportation. Of course, also in the south, because you cannot move so freely because fear of being kidnapped is there, and this herdsmen issue, because like in our community of recent, we saw some of these people also creating some problem, resulting in killings, and of course, those things are likely to have adverse effects on our economy and of course in the movement of citizens.
Insecurity is affecting our culture, is affecting food production, short of food, short of yams. At the same time, years back, you see yams everywhere, plantains everywhere, and all that. So, if I may say, but Nigeria is a nation, country, and we also have stake. But since our government are proving the otherwise, what do you expect us to do? Everywhere is security. Many city where we are, just the security, Fulani but everywhere. Nitiala and all those terrorist group and all that. Not until they browned these bandits as terrorists. I think they won't do anything about it. And to a large extent, they're being funded by powers on high. At this point, Nigerians are helpless. And that's the gospel truth. We're helpless. The nation is on the standstill, nothing is working. Nothing at all is working. And so, if now our president is beginning to wake up and ask for assembly, it's the right call towards the right direction. They should wake up and do something. Because for too long, I think some persons are making profit out of this banditry and whatever is going on, this so-called Boko Haram and all that. How can you have in a nation, in a country that we are Nigeria, our nation, we have no other country, whether we travel to America, wherever, we're still Nigerians. Just imagine in this same nation we have Sharia law. Does it make any sense? I will say we want Nigeria. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know if we are Nigerians anymore. I don't know the right word to say. And I think the Northerners, it's high time they wake up to know we are Nigerians. We are one Nigeria, one nation. Nigeria is not for me alone, it's not for the North, it's not for the Igbos, it's not for the Yoruba, it's not for the Edos, it's not for the Shekiri or Jaws or whatever. It's for everybody. And when we wake up to that responsibility, I think and I believe Nigeria will go forward.
The security of life and property and the welfare of the citizenry is the primary obligation and duty of the government as enshrined in our Constitution, particularly under Chapter 2, precisely Section 14, Subsection 2B, where it says that the government's primary responsibility shall be to provide welfare of the citizens and security of lives and property. And that, be that as it may, it seems that our security issue has lingered for such a long time, that it began to give some inferences, that people are beginning to infer that there's more to it. There are people who are cashing out on this, our insecurity, which shows that it's being politicized. There's more to it. But in my own honest view, I feel that whatever challenge you have in this insecurity can squarely be handled and tackled by the government, except that they are having some cold feet, probably because of some of their interests or inordinate benefits they are getting from it. Otherwise, if they are set to tackle insecurity, who are these insurgents that you cannot suppress? But because there are political motives, there are selfish, objectives, there are people who are making it here and there. I mean, insecurity or kidnapping and banditry have come in the realms of billions now. They now ask people for ransom in billions, in hundreds of millions. So it has become very profitable to indulge in. So people have been encouraged to get into it because government has provided a veritable ground for it to fester. So now, I think that since Nigeria is a sovereign nation, foreign intervention cannot happen. America cannot invade Nigeria without incurring the wrath of the international community. But as a sovereign nation, your internal affairs are to be managed and handled by you and not to another nation. But America being the number one world police of all the nations, you don't expect them to fold their hands and watch the gory scenes that are flowing out from from Nigeria every day, where people are being beheaded recklessly and ruthlessly, where people's lives have been turned upside down, people have been maimed and brutalized, people have been chased away from their ancestral homes, and nothing is being done, despite the amount of budget, huge, humongous money they've been budgeted for fighting insecurity. It ends up in private courts. And, the kind of, when you fight a war that those who are fighting it are part of it, it becomes difficult to win. But most of the people fighting insurgency and insecurity are part of the problem. So that's why it becomes a problem. So I don't think that it is impossible for America to invade Nigeria. It has happened in the past.
I will blame first the federal government and the state government, not only Edo State. It's no more news. We are aware how the bandit came into Nigeria. I would not want to dwell on it too much. It affects the community, even the rural area. Our farmers that are even farming on their own inside my farm. I have almost 50 laborers. Do you know if I didn't employ security people, that village would not have been going to farm at all. And yet we are not feeling the impact of either the state government or the federal government. This place is a bit fair. What of Benue and Plateau? The government should wake up.
For a very long time now, the issue of insecurity, has been quite alarming. Yes, as a nation that is suffering insecurity, the economy of such a country is going to be stagnated. As a country is also seeking to grow our economy, it is also very important that investors from around the world are attracted to invest into the economy. And then let's also look at our citizens. If there's unrest regarding, if the liberty of the people is being threatened, there's no how people can go about their daily endeavors. Right now, it's also the present issue that farmers no longer go to their farms at will because of the issue of banditry, kidnapping, and all of that, which is a major problem in our current society. It is also to that effect that we as human rights activists within our own capacity are trying out to the government to ensure that the right security apparatus is being employed, and then that the government of the day is trying to focus more their energy is being channeled to address the issues of insecurity as the ultimate unrest in our nation. With no reasons to dispute that Nigeria currently is going through insecurity, like you rightly said. But then, as a president of the country, which we believe should also be inclined to international law, we see it as a disrespect, to Nigeria as a sovereign state. Yes, before we engage, there are rules of engagement. If Nigeria as a sovereign nation is in one way or the other having a bilateral agreement or a diplomatic agreement with the U.S., inviting the U.S. government to intervene in our issue, then it will be a different case. And then the reasons why